What's up YouTube, it's all. Today we're back with King Arthur Legends Rise, and today I'm going to show you guys my first team that I used for equipment dungeons, and that is for a Yskalhaig, the dragon boss. I guess they're all kind of dragons, but this is the one that gives you kind of the best gear pieces, and this gives you the best keepsakes. So the best equipment sets, I should say, are from Yskalhaig. The second dragon isn't really all that. So we want to focus on this. Now, this is the team I used. I do have Bedaway, but you can use different damage dealers. For this, you can also use Iweret. I know a lot of people acquired Iweret. She's very, very good. If you're somebody who likes to use iron, you can use her for damage. So you kind of want to stick with a frost damage dealer, or at least a red damage dealer. If you want to bring in Rosier and her red relic, that can also work, because she does really nice amount of damage. But basically what you want to do is bring in Morgan, you want to bring Sarah for blocking the buffs so the boss doesn't keep doing buffs, and you want Turing for the healing. Now the stats don't need to be crazy on this team. The stats, basically the speeds, you kind of want to go in between the boss and also his right leg or left leg. I guess it's his right leg, it's on our left side, but you want to go in between those, and you really just want to be around 200ish speed, 200, 220. You don't want to be 240 and above, because then you're going to be faster than the dragon. So you see my Morgan, she's the fastest on my team. She's 220 speed, and I have her with enough accuracy to land her debuffs. Would be nice if I got closer to 80, but that's all just fine. We then have the second champion, or second fastest champion, is Turin, 213 speed. It is important that you get your Turin to do around about 5k healing. Mine does a little bit more than that now, but initially when I got it done, 5k healing seems like the sweet spot. Whenever the A3 comes off her frost relic, she does a massive AoE heal, and you want that to be 5k. So if you are not doing 5k healing and your champions are going down, that's what you need to improve. More HP percent, more recovery stat that helps with healing. It scales with healing, the recovery stat. And then we have Sarah. Sarah is really good. She's going to come in and do her basic attack, her skill 1, which basically will do a buff disruption. When using skill 1, grants buff disruption for 2 turns, grants attack gauge disruption for 2 turns. We don't really mind the second part of the passive. I think that comes from a chivalry. But you need to have this booked. This is one of the things that kind of people don't like about this team, that this needs to be booked. When I started doing this, it was inconsistent and I didn't have this booked. I only have the book to 1 level. So you can basically go with this and get into the fight, do buff disruption whenever you can. You really want to set it up in a particular way, which I'm going to show you. But also the boss does evasion buff, which means you can't hit the boss because his evasion stat is too high. And your hit accuracy is not that high. But you do have Morgan stripping buffs as well. You're going to have Morgan removing 2 buffs. So even though it's not ideal with just 1 passive cooldown or 1 passive book on the second passive, you can still do it. I would still recommend you try it, because I was bogged down about the same fact that you can't actually basically use this team if you don't have... I think the game side is a bit loud. Let me just turn it down a bit. I was kind of bogged down that you can't use Sarah if you don't have her fully passive cooldown, but that's not the problem. It looks like we just did a weak hit there. Let me go quickly show you guys the presets, or I should say skill order settings. So we have the Turin skill 3 into skill 1 if she doesn't have that available, which she will all the time, because Sarah's in Vigor set and she is going to be doing basic attack, so she's going to be giving us 3 Vigor every turn. Then we have Morgan with the attack gauge reduction, also with the AoE decreased defense, and with the removal of buffs. Very, very good champion. We get her free to play, which is amazing. And then we have Bedaway doing our damage. He missed the crit on the first sort of hit that he did, but I'm going to do the AoE and clean up here, and then we'll be able to just turn off his A3 and go back in. My Bedaway, if he crits, then it goes straight through. If not, it gets a bit janky. I'll show you guys a bit of that run as well. It looks like this is going to be a bit of a janky run because I didn't turn off the A3 in time. So this is what I mean. You'll see that we basically put our buff disruption on cooldown. So this boss is actually going to get invasion on me but that's okay. It's not really a big deal. We'll try to remove the evasion. So when the right front leg, or it just says front leg, when the front leg takes a turn, he puts evasion on him. So there you see it. The evasion came on whenever he changed forms. It looks like he also puts it on. We want to basically strip this off, and then we get the block buffs there. We aren't able to hit the boss. This is the biggest problem with this boss. You can't hit him if he has the invasion on. So we're going to try to stay alive. This is why you want good healing from your Turin, so you can stay alive and try and get Morgan to strip that invasion off. So we'll see if we get it this turn. Oh, we got champion go down. We didn't strip evasion. It's not looking good. This might just be a rip run. We will have to see. We did get a hit there. Oh, Morgan goes down. That's not good. Yeah, we might have to win this again, because we weren't able to do the first part of the fight correctly. Right. So we weren't able to get through that fight. And the problem is that we weren't able to drop the first wave fast enough, right? So the way my team kind of set up, I need to have Bedivere killing everything on the first wave in 2 turns. If Sarah takes 3 turns, she's going to put her buff disruption on cooldown, which is problematic. You don't want that, because as soon as you get into the dragon fight, you want to be doing the buff disruption. So let's see if we can get some better luck this time. I'm going to go ahead and click this guy because he has the debuffs on him. So there we go. And now we should be fine. Now, if you guys are running into this issue where your Bedivere or your damage dealer isn't killing the waves fast enough, if you are taking 3 turns to drop the waves down, then I would suggest running Sarah slightly slower than Bedivere. That way you'll have 3 attacks before her before a passive goes on cooldown, right? So you want to set it up. If you can 2-shot the wave, if you can 2 attacks bring the wave down, then run Sarah faster than Bedivere. If you are taking 3 turns to bring the waves down with whatever damage dealer you're using, then make Sarah slower than your damage dealer. And like I said, 200 speed is enough. I wouldn't go below 190 for your damage dealers as well. So now you can see we have the buff disruption, so we're not getting evasion on the boss, and it's much easier to hit the boss. This boss's mechanics are supposed to be, you're supposed to land mark on them, but this seems to be just a better way to do it. There we go, Bedivere taking him down. My Bedivere is doing good damage now. I'm happy with how much damage my Bedivere is able to do now. He used to be a weak little Bedivere, but now he's come a long way, which I'm really happy with. Let's go ahead and buy some energy to kind of do one more run, and then we will call it. See if there's anything else that we missed. I'm pretty certain that's pretty much all you kind of want to do. You want to keep Bedivere slightly slower. So I have Bedivere like 1 speed behind my Sarah. Where is my Sarah? She's not missing gear, is she? No, she's not. So she's 205 speed, and then my Bedivere is 204 speed. Like I said, if your damage dealer is lacking damage and not doing enough damage on the first wave to drop them in 2 turns, if you need that 3rd turn, so if you're running like a Rosier single target damage and she kills everything 1 by 1, I would recommend running Sarah behind your damage dealer in speed. But that is something for you to play around with. It is a very good combo that you can run. Oh, there we go. Bedivere didn't kill something again on the first wave. It is pretty frustrating. Oh, there we go. We got Morgan dropping down the middle one, so that is good for us. And then we should get the extra turn because I have the strife set on, and the strife set basically allows me to take an extra turn whenever I down an enemy. I think it's a 2-turn or a 1-turn cooldown. So I like having Morgan slower than the boss, because if your Morgan is faster than the boss, she's going to put decreased defense and damage taken increase, and that's just it's just gonna fall off. Like 1 turn is just going to go down, right? And Morgan, if you don't have a passive cooldown, then she only has 1 turn decreased defense. So whichever boss you're fighting, I would recommend, if you don't need to keep the turn meter all the way down or the attack gauge all the way down, I would recommend running Morgan slower than the boss in fights where you can't do attack gauge reduction. In fights where you do attack gauge reduction, obviously you want to have Morgan faster than the boss, but that's just a little tip on how you can get the most out of Morgan. But yeah, those are the champions I'm running. That's the team I'm running. Let me know what you guys think about the team. I know people are going to say the gear is not what we can do, but this is the team I ran, and the gear was much worse at the time I ran this team. Now, obviously, the gear's gotten better since then, but you would also be able to get better gear. If you can't do 10 straight away, I would recommend doing 9. And once you get better gear, you can come and do this on 10. So that's the team. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys are running as your damage dealer or as your team for the equipment dungeon dragon. The gear is very important to get. It is very important to have good gear, especially with new content coming up. We've got the guild versus guild, clan versus clan coming up in the game as well, so you're going to want to be prepared and geared for that. Big shout out, big thank you to Netmarble for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much for supporting content creators and also working tirelessly on King Arthur Legends Rise. This game has improved drastically since its release, and they keep releasing so many patch notes, so many fixes every single day, which is really good to see. I mean, every day I log into the game and I see that there's a new change. The developers working tirelessly on improving the game is what you want to see. And they are fixing things that are being reported back to them from the community, and on their own incentive too. They are looking at the game, seeing what's working, what's not working, and they are basically improving things where they think they're not quite according to their vision. They're not just releasing it and just having it out there. So good job, Netmarble. Keep up the good work, and thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.